think things might have just got worse. Let's crack on. Hello, welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we're finishing off the Sony SL-T9MER, the R is significant, that we recently started in part 1. And it's about ready to go, but we've got this NTSC problem, and hopefully we'll be changing the belts as well. They've still not arrived as of starting this recording of this video, but hopefully they'll arrive any day now, so that would be great and very, very useful. So yeah, I've literally just powered this on and put in the NTSC tape, and it's awful. It's really terrible, and tapping makes no difference. So I'm starting to think, I mean, I've gone from a ground fault. What my initial thought is there is actually a relay in the can, the RF can from the heads, that switches between the two sets of heads. Somewhere along the preamp section, we'll try and decipher the rather poor service manual I've got for this. It's an online one, so it's not great, but you can decipher it just to work out how that actually works. But yeah, it's a bit perplexing. I think what I might do is get my SECAM cassette out and just try that, just to see if that's as bad. It's got a bit of mould going on the top of there by the looks of it. Not great. Don't want to be playing that for too long. So, SECAM, and that's absolutely fine. So it is on the NTSC side. I mean, I suppose we could try a power cassette as well. Let's just give that a go. So, yeah, and that's absolutely fine as well. So it is just NTSC. Somehow I've got another cassette. So let's just try. Give my regards to Broad Street. Yeah, so we're back to that, having had it warm up. Let's just tap that back can again. Yeah, so it does come and go. Okay, I think what I'll do is I'll turn the machine round, and we'll take that back panel on the can. I mean, it's going to introduce a lot of noise, but it might give us a bit more of a clue what's going on at least. So let's crack on. So this is a bit interesting. I think someone's been in here before, and you see like the finger marks, which is interesting. So I think what I'll do, I mean, if I tap the can, I mean, I'm barely tapping that, and it's just going crazy. So I think if I just take this off and have a look, maybe we'll get a bit more of a clue of what's going on. But I am going to turn it off to do that, because it's a little bit, there's a slight risk I might touch something I don't want to. So yeah, I'll get and do that. Well, it's a bit interesting. It has got these yellow tabs, like insulators, sorry. And I'm going to take those off because these do become conductive. They're not as bad as the black ones. Well, in my humble opinion, they're not as bad as the black ones that you find in like early HF 950s, which almost go to tar almost. Just terrible. But I would say I'm not far off saying that that relay, which almost looks as if it's got a dry joint on it, interestingly, is just literally switching between the two different sets of heads depending on the format. Like I say, we'll have a look at the circuit diagram in a bit, and so yeah, let's give that a go. So power back on. Yeah, so that's no better. Oh, that relay, it does seem to... Oops, sorry, camera going down. That does seem to make a bit of a difference when I'm rubbing the relay. Oh. Okay. Well, that's actually below the relay, down here somewhere. And obviously my... Oh, that made a difference. We've got the transformers here. Interesting. I mean, obviously my hand makes a difference. So if I put my hand close, you can see it goes really very noisy. Because obviously I'm introducing a lot of noise. If I touch the chassis, it's not maybe quite as bad, but yeah. So that's bad again. It'd be nice to actually find the joint. I'm sure it's a bad joint. Oh. Maybe it is the relay. I don't think it's the actual relay itself. I've got some on order actually. I managed to find some. Yeah, it's bad joints on the relay. Maybe. Okay, I think I'll just solder those. Oh, that's perfect. I've got that perfect. Okay, so I'll solder those up and see if that's fixed it. Let's crack on. Shiny new tip. Let's crack on. Well, I've done it. I had problems because the actual physical diameter of the shaft of the new bits, it's actually too small. So it's sliding in and out, and of course when it's doing that, it's losing thermal conductivity. So yeah, anyway, let's give it a try and see how we get on. Well, I take it all back. It is what I thought. It is actually the relay, or something to do with the relay. So picture at the moment, and then Oh gosh. It's almost like the relay itself is... Oh, maybe it isn't. Oh, I'm going to turn this off. We had some smoke. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, what went on there? That's really weird. What went pop? I didn't think it was the cap. I think it was a transistor. Yeah, so why would that happen? Unless I did, maybe I touched. Oh, maybe I touched under here. Ah, that's annoying. That's probably what happened. Okay, so, but that relay is certainly suspect, and it's going to be a fun one to fix. I'm a bit mortified that I popped that, because that touched that bit of chassis. Where would it have touched? Get an idea of where yeah, it's probably somewhere there. That's annoying. Okay, well, yeah, I should have really heeded my own sort of warnings on that one, because I thought when I was balancing it there, that's going to be a bit precarious, and I wasn't far wrong. Okay, so I'm going to have to find out which one blew. It's one of these three. I think it was that one. Check it. Probably I've got scrap boards that I can borrow, nick, steal, otherwise rob a transistor from, and just hope I haven't damaged anything else. What a pain. Wish I hadn't done that. Oh well, let's crack on. So a bit of an update really, sort of a couple of days on, and I can't find one of these 2SB822 transistors in any other bit of kit that I have scrap boards for. It's a switching, well, it's used as a switch, but it's actually rated at 1 amp, so it's pretty heavy duty, and it's probably why I got quite a nice bit of smoke when I inadvertently grounded its outputs on the can. I've checked the can itself. I can't see any damage at all. I don't think I've done anything other than pop that transistor, which is good, hopefully. And I've also checked the board as well, and everything looks fine. The transistor that drives this transistor is fine, so I'm hoping that's a good sign that everything else will be okay. But anyway, that's on order. That'll probably be here in a couple of days' time. I've gone through with the magnifying glass and checked every single joint on this board, and they are all good. I can't see any problems at all. Like I say, it looked like there was a bad joint on the relay itself, but I've resoldered that and that's fine. I can't see any print cracks either, so happy with that. So what I have done is I've taken the top, I've just flicked off the top of the relay. I think I did that with the new old stock C7 in that video for the audio switching. It seems to be becoming a bit of an issue with these Omron relays, that they're becoming a bit intermittent. The contacts are not that great, and I did notice that the top contact, which I think is the NTSC pair of head chips, That's when they're selected, when this pops up. It was slightly not straight. It's got 2 leaves on each contact as it comes up, so it should still make good contact, but I have just straightened it ever so gently and slightly. It doesn't actually take much, so maybe that'll help, I don't know. But I've put a tiny bit of deoxys on the contacts, yeah, we'll just put it back together and hopefully we should be good. So let's see if I can do this without breaking anything. I'm always a bit nervous because it's the top's only held on by 2 little tabs, one each side, and I'm always afraid they're going to break. But I haven't broken one yet, so it doesn't mean to say I won't. But at the end of the day, I suppose you could just tape it or something. As long as it's covered to keep the dust out, I can't see a problem. So yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll put this back in and await that transistor's arrival. I think it's a different can or case style. TO92S from memory, I think it is. So it's not this type. Not even sure what this type's referred to. I couldn't find any data on what this case type or style is. Let me know in the comments if you know. But on the legend you can actually see they've got the 2 different styles. So the flat is to this side and the back is to there. See there, we've got a different case style there, which I believe that's a TO92S. I'm not very good on case styles. And I have belts, and these have literally just arrived, which couldn't be any better timing because this machine needs to go now. So we'll be fitting those in the fullness of time. But yeah, I'm going to put this back in. I'm not going to show it on camera because it's simple enough to put back in, and we'll take it from there. Let's crack on. So always fun to do. I know I'll do this quite a bit, but just interesting to test these Sanyo capacitors, see how well they're fared. So the first one's a 0.47, 16 volts. Not dreadful, but it's bad enough. Let's try the next one. So this one's 0.33. I mean, the ESR on these is not great. It's 0.22 at 16 volts. Yeah, not great. They seem to be fairly consistent. So 1 microfarad, 16 volts. Wow. This is the other 0.47. Yeah, they are a bit all over the place. I mean, quite consistently all over the place, but still, no wonder the servo wasn't working. So yeah, let's crack on. So we have a new 2SB822. It's now a couple of days on. Post has arrived, and I've also bought a couple of these. They weren't terribly expensive, but they're on signal relays, identical pretty much to what's in there. 12 volt. I did actually buy some that look identical as well, but they have 5 volt coils, which will be no good. Although I could adapt the circuit to accommodate those. But rather try and keep it fairly original if I can. This, I mean, obviously it's going to be in the can. I'm not going to fit them yet. I will fit them just because I want the reliability for its new owner. But I just want to see if cleaning those contacts did actually make a difference. So that would be quite fun. And then we need to have a look at these belts. Let's crack on. So, well, I need to get the cassette out anyway, but I'm going to power it on and see if I did any damage any further than that transistor. So let's crack on. Yeah, so the heads are revolving. That's a good start. And with that cleaned, brilliant, with that cleaned relay, that is actually working. So that's brilliant. Let's try the tracking. Furthest left, furthest right. Yeah, you do get a tracking through, but yeah, excellent. Okay, so let's press eject. I will change. What should I do first? Let's change that relay and just test that, and then we'll do the belts. Let's crack on. So I didn't show taking this out. I've desoldered the old relay, and let's just check. Quite a bit smaller, but they should be pin for pin exactly the same, which they are. This is like the modern equivalent, if you like. So yeah, that's good. Maybe, yeah, there we go. So yeah, let's get that soldered in. Super, so let's put the can on. It still tickles me, it has fingerprints on it. And obviously we've got the tape on there just in case. The clearance is actually really good, but yeah. Super, so that's done. Just wonder what's going on. It doesn't seem to sort of sit very well. Oh, it's the can. It's actually the can itself that just sort of fouls it at this corner, or both corners. I mean, it's on right, but yeah, it just seems to be a struggle to get that on. So yeah, maybe they're relying on us as an additional ground, but yeah, interesting. So I'm intrigued by this board because this also has a relay on it. So this could be interesting when it comes to, yeah, of course this is recording, isn't it? I may end up changing that relay as well, but we'll see how we get on, because we will do a recording test. But yeah, I wonder when the last time it was that this machine actually did a recording, because it does appear they're all machine screws, by the way. I took off the top shielding cover, and there were all these type of screws, not self-tapping of course. So yeah, we have another relay there. Interesting. So a very unpopulated board, but yeah, quite cool. So the next thing now is to do the belts, and yeah, we've got some fun, haven't we? These are always fun. The capstan motor is interesting as well, with the white sleeve round it. I wonder if that's been replaced, you know, because they do jam. But this looks all good. Pinch roller looks brilliant. Then the heads, quite a bit of muck there, but I seem to remember trying to clean that off and couldn't. But it's fine. It does seem to be fine. So, I mean, that head almost looks like it's had it, you know, like something's happened to the coil, but it's absolutely fine. Actually, it looks better on the camera, to be fair. When you look at it, when you sort of eyeball it, you just think, gosh, that coil. But just so cool to see one of these thicker head discs with the additional head chips. Just so cool. So yeah, and I can also see on the camera that I'm going to have to do a bit of cleaning, just get out that sort of detritus that's on the loading ring. So yeah, let's crack on. So I suppose we'd better just try it. Try that relay out before we do the belts. Yeah, absolutely fine. So yeah, brilliant. Sounds very good as well. So let's just try power cassette, because the switch is the other way. Yeah, that's fine. Lovely. Okay, let's get those belts changed. So I thought out of interest before we do the belts, mainly because I'm absolutely exhausted tonight. I just didn't want to do the belts. I do some recording instead, and I do have a feeling we will have problems with NTSC because of the relay. It's probably never been used, but you can see the lights there in the background. So the output PAL N and SECAM. Then we've got NTSC 3.58, 4.43, PAL, and then SECAM. So that's a good start. So let's get some video going and see what it looks like. Let's crack on. So I've done recordings on the different formats, and I have to say I'm really impressed. So this is NTSC 4.43, and yeah, it's fine. It's beta 2, so I'm not sure you can actually change the standard. I'm sure there must be a way. I haven't probably found it. It's probably, is it that button? So yeah, that's really cool. And we should flick over to SECAM at any second. And SECAM, it's just more washed out, and you do get, like, well, I know reds bleed. Somebody actually commented on the other video that I did with the TTF1F about SECAM and the way particularly reds can bleed. But it's a little bit noisy. And then, well, there we go. We've gone over to PAL now. Which is great, actually. It's so much better. And I have actually tried 3.58 NTSC. So that should flick over any second. There we go. So yeah, just records it as black and white. It actually looked terrible when I tried to record it, but yeah, it just does black and white, so that's fine. So yeah, it all works, and that relay's fine for the record side of things. So yeah, really pleased with that. So let's crack on and get these belts changed. Let's crack on. So finally, let's get these belts done. Take the top loading system off first. Bit mucky. It's a very clean machine, to be fair, and generally it's not bad at all. But there are some sort of just bits of dust here and there and contamination, but yeah, it's really very good. So 2 belt kits, I need the one. So Star Components in Australia, and we'll do the easy bits first because, well, why not? So we've got the belt for the counter, which I don't think they give you, or maybe they do now. It's looking like maybe they do. Let's move it out of the way. I'm not overly worried about changing the counter one because, I mean, all the belts are good, considering. But like I say, they will not last long. You know, there's deformities. So tyres, pretty good match. Not perfect match, but for what they're doing, they'll be fine. Or it'll be fine. This hasn't got the rewind kit, but given its performance, I'm not worried about that one bit. And that pressed in. It's pretty good. And got this. I've got the belt as well, haven't I? So there's that belt. So let's see what we've got. It's a while since It's a while since I've done a belt kit on a C7 type machine, and that one, yeah, I think that's done. Yeah, so sort of a little bit making this up as I go along now. Just trying to remember things, because I know two belts are quite fun. This belt here and the corresponding belt that drives across from the capstan motor underneath the deck. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to those. Just a screwdriver blade in there just to get that tyre moving. There we go. So that's what it is. That's what they give you. They are pretty close matches, I have to say. This one seems to be a little bit... Is it a bit thicker? I think it is just a tiny bit thicker and a tiny bit taller then. So yeah, it does fit. It's just a bit of a squeeze. Then we've got the play idler. No, it's not the play idler, it's the unlacing idler. That one is pretty, gosh, that is quite dry actually. So that's that one. It's quite a bit bigger, but I don't think that matters. As long as it doesn't foul it when it's not... Oh gosh, that's completely wrong. No, that's the wrong one. Of course it is. What am I thinking? It's because the other one had rolled off. That's for there. That's for there. Let's just compare. Yeah, it's pretty much identical. It's a tiny bit smaller. Almost, yeah. It so much so that it makes no difference. So get that on. And that one. Sometimes it's easier just to take the whole idler off, like on the C6s. Let's get those out of the way. Just moving the old ones out of the way so I don't get muddled up. And you don't want to be pushing too hard when you put this on, because it is on a metal assembly and you don't really want to bend it. I said it's on a metal assembly, it's not, it's on a plastic assembly, but you don't want to bend it, you don't want to push it. Super. So that's the tyres done. Now I've got two of these belts. I'm assuming that one is for the counter, the bigger one, bigger, thinner one. So, well, I suppose we could try it. Yeah. And I seem to remember this is quite fun. Pass it through, get some tweezers, and not do it like that. Seem to remember you've got to sort of get it so it points up a bit. Sort of flex the belt. I do actually wonder what happens if I get the belt and I pass it through from this side. Probably can't see this very well at all. And get the belt underneath and around the other side. Well, that didn't go too badly. I'll be doing that in the future. Do it from the front, feed it back through, let's get it round. That there, which it doesn't want to do. No way I can show you what I'm doing because it's just totally out of view. But it's on. So there is actually quite on the bottom of the pulley that you can't see here, but it's for the counter, so it misses the solenoid. There's quite an extra bit to the shaft that's mounted on, so you have to push it right the way past. The belt itself is not quite square at all. I might just, it will settle, but let's give it a helping hand. What really matters on a counter. so that's working fine. So now we've got the fun belt. So that's this one here, which feels decidedly slack. Maybe it might have been an idea to not put the tyre on until I got this one out, but that's fine. And loosen this off, loosen this off, so we can get the plastic off, plastic shield off. The yellowing going on there. And I seem to remember, do I have to just remove this as well? I think I do. Well, it's a good idea too. What do I need to do? Yeah, I think it's just literally the one screw. I'm sure this is different to the C7 and C5, this bit. But anyway, that's fine. Yeah. That's not going to do it, is it? That's not going to cut it. There we go. So yeah, again, really difficult to see. It's just trying to get this part or this part of the plastic just to free off, and then it will just pop off. Occasionally you can flick them off. I did have a go at that, but that wasn't going to happen. So that's fine. Can I get the loading ring free a bit more? Would be nice. Don't know whether I have to move it. Oh, I seem to remember something like a half load or something that you're supposed to do. I can't remember. Just to get this cog off. Oh, there we go, it's come free. Hopefully that won't be too painful to get back. So that belt comes off, and we'll compare those in a minute. And then I'm going to take the belt off. So the belt on this gear is underneath the deck. So I'll take that off now, get it free. And then we are ready to turn the deck over. Just get it over that as well. Perfect. Okay, so let's put this back down without fouling any of the cables. I might even put the screw in it, if I can find it. That one. Okay, so I'll turn the deck over. I mean, obviously that's loose. I'm just going to just slightly tighten that screw up as well, just so we don't lose it and things don't start falling out. So yeah, let's turn the deck over. And we've got one screw hold. If I use the right screwdriver, one screw holding this in at the moment, and put the rest in, knowing that I'd have to do the belts. And there we go, there it is in all its finery. To use a screwdriver that I'm going to need, probably. That'll do. Super. So all good to go. Let's get this belt off. Gosh, yeah, that is not wonderful. The replacement belt, quite a bit tighter. Yeah, you just feel the rubber's just perished really. So we're not going to put that on because obviously we've got to get the capstan belt on. And that is a little bit of fun. Okay, so screwdriver. And just get this E-clip off. This assembly here moves when you do that, that's fine. Underneath. So again, I mean, this belt is great. It's not not like the Toshiba's. Got some grease on my finger. Just get rid of that. So replacement belt, it's actually got a little bit sort of funny, yeah, a little bit tighter, so that's fine. Let's put that in there. It's actually running a little bit untrue, but I think that will settle with use, so that's fine. The easy one. So this one is very elastic, but it's not great. Has stretched. So yeah. We're changing that. It's running true. Quick clean on the bottom of here. Does absolutely nothing. is just nice to do. And that's all good. So we then have this belt. Actually, I don't know why I thought that was captive. It's not, is it? I don't know. So let's put that back on. That's good. Yeah, that is right. It's funny how you forget these things. I think I'm remembering when I used to dread doing these, and I'm just getting it around the post there. And I've not done a huge amount, but I've done enough now that I just don't find them daunting. And you shouldn't either. They're really not that bad. It seems terrible. Possibly not the easiest thing to do as far as belt changes go, but it's fine. So need some grease. Okay, so I'm going to use a bit of this silicone grease. Maybe not the best thing to use, maybe, but it doesn't have creep, and it's a bit much there. Let's remove some of that. That'll do. Lovely. Let's clean up the extra bit of spillage. Okay, so let's get that back in place. Nice to pull the connector off there. That was very clumsy of me. Not very good, but we're all fine. This is my connector. Okay, so let's put this back down and I'm going to put the screw back in, the one screw I took out, and then we'll turn the deck over. Let's crack on. So, top of the deck, because I put the belt from the bottom over the first post, this should be, hopefully, a bit easier. And probably not using the best tool for this. Let's just get that so it's I'll probably have to go back under the deck anyway, just to make sure that it's still in the pulley underneath, because obviously because of the slack. No. Sort of hoping for some pliers, because I need something with a bit more grit just to get this over, but I think we can do it. It does really feel as if it's stayed on the gear on the other end, so that's good. Take that on the pulley rather. Get that in there. Bring that round. I have to use tweezers actually, because the screwdriver's too thick. Oh, nearly. You probably can't see too much of this. Really awkward to actually film this, especially when you're sort of doing it and filming it. So that's good. Then we've got the last belt. So that then goes just get it round. There's a little pulley which you probably can't see. Here, so still not quite on, and it is quite twisted, but it will. Yeah, it's sorting itself out. That's fine. And I can feel that's on the capstan as well. I can feel it's on the capstan motor, so it's fine. I will check it. Yeah, that's good. There's a bit more twist there that I'd like, really. Can I cross the belt? I've crossed the belt. Hang on. Which way have I crossed it? There, that way. Never done that before. First time for everything, I suppose. That would have been quite interesting, because it would have done the opposite to what it's supposed to do. And over that pulley again. Let's just grab tweezers to do that. That's better. Yeah, that's now running as it should. The idler is a little bit not quite sitting as it should, that tyre. It's better. This wasn't quite sitting as it should. So I think we are somewhere near. All fairly clean, all looking nice. So yeah, let's get the top loading system back on, and yeah, just check that belt underneath and we should be good. Of course, I nearly forgot, and you would be telling me this, the gear. So I'm just going to put the tiniest amount of grease on it. It's a good opportunity just to make sure that it runs nicely. Then just a tiny bit just on the gear itself, on the shaft, where the shaft goes in. So I don't fail that plastic assembly. Super. And then retaining clip, like so. I've got the fun of trying to get this back in, which actually was very simple. Seems much more difficult to get it out than to put it in. And get my screwdriver. This one should do it. My other one, maybe just to tighten this up properly. One's a Posi, one's a Phillips, so that's looking good. Clean a little bit of mess off there. Okay. Pinch rod is really good. So back tension's good. I'll give it a tape path clean anyway, before we go too far, and obviously get finger grease and all the rest of it grease off. Super. So top loading system. So top loading system. It comes up from this side. Something I always forget as well. Try and lift it straight out. It doesn't do that. You've got to lift it out from this side and then it sort of pull it this way. And just do a basic alignment. So the circles of the top loading system sort of align with the circles of the spools. I think that makes sense. That should probably look wrong to you, but looks good from up above to me. And we'll check that belt underneath. Let's put this back down for now. We need to tighten this screw up as well. That wire needs to go around there. Oh, you know what I've forgotten? That bit of plastic, the magic plastic. So this, let's give it a quick clean. Painted screw. It's got a painted screw, which I've not seen before on these machines, on any of these machines. It's a bit of an odd one, that. So just get that line there on the I think it's perspex. Just line up roughly with the lacing ring. That's where it should sit. Right, good. And this thing, which I never seem to find the right way to put that cable back in, because it insists on coming out. Let's just sort that out. There we go. Put that down. Like I say, I will give this a tape path clean, which I probably won't do on this video because, well, you know pretty much how I do it. So let's turn it over. And check that one belt is where it should be. It's crossed, but it's fine. Let's say it's crossed, it's twisted, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's fine. So a bit of a twist in it, but that's not going to cause any issues. It's not like it does anything other than drive, so that's fine. So yeah. So lifting this board up, I haven't really shown this before, but there is a connector. If you want to open this right way up, you have to unplug that connector first. I mean, there is a connector on the C7s and C5s, I think, as well, that you need to disconnect if you want to open the board right up. But this is the one for the T9MER, so yeah, it's certainly worth noting. So yeah, I'm going to put all the screws back in the bottom, and then we shall give it a try. Let's crack on. Okay, so here it goes. There we go. It's quite fully unlaced. So you need to press down the, or hold down the eject if it's not fully unlaced. Sounding good. The counter just made a noise because it's that's not right. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Ooh, that does not sound good. Wonder what's going on there. Let's try eject. So eject's fine. So what's going on there? Ah, right, okay. That tyre is not quite sat correctly. So you can see it's sort of driving the spool slightly. Okay, so, well, that's an easy one. Let's crack on. Okay, so I've assessed the tyres, and sort of looks as if it's still touching, but it's not. I've put the old one, I've cleaned it up and put the old one back onto the idler rather than change the real tyre. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Yeah, that's fine now. They're just, those tyres, just having that extra sort of mill is not great. So let's wind this on a bit first. Back. Much better. Bit of labouring, but it is the beginning of the tape. Play. Check it's okay. But take up. I suppose we ought to really crack out the crack open the Sony case. But yeah, looking good. Happy with that. So yeah. Let's just whip out the Sony case quick. Okay, so fast forward is 12, rewind is 8. So let's see how we go. Fast forward. Well, yeah. Ouch. It's far higher than that, so that's good. Rewind. Yeah, perfect. Unlaced should be at least 1, which it is. It is 1. So happy with that. So back tension, forward tension. Oh, I mean, that's so high. Back tension's quite high as well, 70. I would say that's a bit on the high side. Not sure. I don't have the data actually for, oh okay, 60 to 100, 110? Really? So that would suggest it's going between standards. So that would suggest that that's okay, but is it really that high on these? I can't remember. But yeah, well, apparently that's correct looking at what I've got here. So yeah, great, super. Let's crack on. So there we have it, all good to go. Turn it on first. Set in. TV tape. He was in Blackadder, wasn't he? Yeah, so just intrigued by, because I haven't tested this yet, the still it's not bad, is it? for a two head, I mean, I know it's a four head machine, but two heads per format, if you like, with the NTSC using the other two chips. It's not bad. So yeah, so well, I'll leave this run now for 20 hours is usually what I run these for. Get the tape path clean, and then it can go to its new home. So what a great machine, and I am actually really sad to let this one go. It's such a lovely machine and just so unusual, really rare, but it's going to a good home. So yeah, that's fantastic. So with that, hope you enjoyed this one, and a like and subscribe would be fantastic. It really does help the channel, and hopefully see you in another video. Bye for now.